It's episode 13 of Bandits Weekly presented by Smash Supplements. My name is Nathan Crosby. Big thanks to everyone who watched the Arnaud Vachon episode from last week. If you haven't, go check it out on our Spotify and YouTube pages. We've got a great guest this week. Current Bandits defenseman Luke Marshall will be joining us in just a few minutes to talk about not only recently committing to Canisius University, but also an update on how the Bandits season is going heading into the final weekend before the Christmas break. Bandits were on the road for 4 straight games. It began on Tuesday, December 5th with a 7-1 win in Drumheller. Following that up on Friday in Okotoks, that was the first of 5 straight games without 6 of their regulars who are off at the World Junior A Challenge in Nova Scotia. We'll talk about that in a minute. Plus, no Hunter Wallace for the Bandits over the weekend. He's been out with an injury since November 15th. And going to Okotoks, always tough games there. Full marks to the Brooks Bandits with that shortened bench. They jump out to a 5-0 lead, never look back. Brendan Holohan, I thought, was terrific in net, and the Bandits' penalty kill was very strong. A 5-2 win over the Okotoks Oilers. Nice win for Brooks. They've won all 3 meetings with the Oilers this year. Saturday, we were up in Camrose. Different energy in that building, but I thought the Bandits really handled it well, especially giving up that early goal down 1-0. But there was some terrific moments in that game, highlighted by Liam Fitzpatrick scoring a goal, assisted by his brother Kalen. First time that's ever happened in any sort of hockey that they've played, and the Fitzpatricks had family in attendance as well. And it was pretty funny because they were switching ends behind the net each period, and so they were there in the offensive zone for Liam's goal in the second period. Mirko Budazzoni had a couple goals over the weekend that were pretty much identical with those shots from the left circle, top shelf. So he's been a lot of fun to watch, and I thought with a shortened bench, the Bandits really handled themselves well. Huey Hooker had a strong game with 3 points, and that whole back end really logged a ton of minutes with Huey Hooker, Luke Marshall, who we'll talk to in a second, Quinn McCall, Ethan Byer. By the way, Quinn McCall now leading all AJHL rookie defenseman in scoring with 23 points this year. And how about Nate Yellowega, Saha defenseman, 2008 born, making his debut on Friday in Okotoks with the team, did the rookie lap, and was really thrown into the fire, hey, with just 5 defensemen dressed. So congratulations, not only to Nate, but of course, the Yellowega family. We had his dad, Kevin, on the podcast earlier this season. If you haven't watched that episode, go check it out. Lots of good stories from Wags. So the Bandits win 5-2 and 6-2 up in Okotoks in Camrose. Then we went to Canmore this past Tuesday night. It was our first trip to the rec center of the season. An interesting one with Canmore getting that early power play goal that was deflected in off Brody Tallman. And then Eagles jump out to a 3-0 lead, and that was kind of unusual territory for the Brooks Bandits to be in this season in the first period, down 3-0. But I thought the Bandits still played pretty well in this game, just couldn't get the goals that they needed. They outshot Canmore 38-27. They do deny Canmore the shutout with the Huey Hooker goal late in the third. Huey, that was his 90th career point. But Bandits end up dropping a 4-1 decision to the Eagles. And man, both games against Canmore this year that the Bandits have played, they have been pretty saucy. And lots of penalties, third periods, where things, tempers really boil over. Looking forward to when Brooks and Canmore face off again, but it won't be until February 17th in Canmore, so we have to wait a while. But kind of an underrated rivalry in this league is Brooks and Canmore. Very different towns. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but it always seems things get pretty testy between those two teams. And hey, 3 of the last 4 playoffs, the Bandits and Eagles have played each other. So anyways, a little bit of a setback for the Brooks Bandits that saw their 16-game win streak snapped and their 8-game road win streak snapped as well. That was the first loss since Halloween for the Brooks Bandits. By the way, everyone has been asking about winning streaks. How long was this one? It was 6th most in Bandits history at 16. The team record, of course, is 33, which was set back in the 2018-19 season on the NJAC team. One other thing, the Bandits are the first AJ team to 30 wins this year. They did it Friday night in Okotoks. Not the fastest, though, that a Bandit team has got to 30 wins. This year's team did it in 33 games, but the 2012-13 team did it in 31 games. So credit to Taylor Make and Dakota Mason and that crew who obviously when I told them that they did it faster than this year's team, you know that they were happy to know that they're still getting recognized. So anyways, the Bandits still first in the AJHL, 7 points up on second place Sherwood Park heading into this weekend's set of games. Luke Marshall coming up, but before we get to that, just a reminder, our episode is brought to you by Smash Supplements in Brooks, where you can get everything you need to level up and power through your day. Open Monday to Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 4 in downtown Brooks. Our guest on Bandits Weekly is defenseman Luke Marshall. Congratulations this week committing to Canisius. Just a great achievement for you and your family. Just tell me about this week and what it's been like having that announced.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind for sure. Definitely disappointing the loss to Canmore to lose our 16-game win streak, but yeah, it's positive with the commitment.
Yeah, kind of a mixed feeling of emotions that day, I can bet, because we're on the way to Canmore and it's announced, and I'm sure you got tons of messages and congratulations. Just tell me about the reaction from your family.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of praise and cheer from my family. It was a big moment. It's been a lot of ups and downs in the last couple of years, but it's been a goal of mine, and they know that. So it was a lot of relief from everyone. Yeah. And
Canisius, I mean, we had some Bandits that are, had great success there that are still playing there. But what can you tell me what you know about Canisius?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Still haven't visited the site yet, so hopefully go in January or February. But Paps kind of had a little bit of connections with Randy Hernandez, who played here, and some others, and they say it's a great spot. And I know a few guys from Bonneville's team last year who used to go to Notre Dame. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
What's it like feeling after that's announced? Because that's obviously a huge milestone for you. And now that you have it figured out, what's that like now that you can move on from that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely just a huge weight off my shoulders, and can look forward to the team now and keep going and look to make another national championship this coming year here. But yeah, definitely a huge weight off my shoulders.
Yeah, speaking of the Canmore game, obviously a bit of a setback there, but you guys, with the shortened bench and the World Junior A Challenge happening, you go into Okotoks and Camrose and pick up wins before the loss in Canmore. But just how's the group feeling this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult with guys out of the lineup and other guys having to play different roles and play bigger roles. But I think we've done a pretty good job overall, despite the loss in Canmore, with guys playing bigger roles. And I hope we can close out the weekend with 4 points.
And the D, I mean, you guys are playing lots of minutes, you and Huey, Quinn and Byer. And then you got Nate Yellowwaga coming in, making his junior hockey debut in Okotoks. Tell me about Wags and what it's like playing with a 2008-born defenseman.
Yeah, it's incredible how good he is for his age, and he did not look one bit out of place, and he fit perfectly. And that's a hard barn to play in Okotoks for your first junior hockey game, and I think he did really good.
And what's the key then? Tell me about playing in those games where you're logging a lot of minutes and it's a shortened bench. How do you manage that?
It's just making simple plays and the smart plays that can get you out of the zone to prevent extended periods of D-zone shifts, and that's when you get bagged. So just keeping shifts short for sure.
It always seems that final week before we head into the holidays, we always have usually a couple home games before then, but it always seems like the team is trying not to think about home and the break and kind of resetting the batteries. So how do you guys just keep that energy up here heading into what's going to be a tough weekend at home?
Yeah, it will be a tough weekend, and I think it's hard to not let that slip our minds and think about the break. And it's been a long 5 months, definitely with Sweden included, but just grinding out the last 6 periods of play here this weekend, and then we'll get 10 days off.
And probably head back to Saskey.
Yeah, I'm going to Edmonton to see the grandparents for a bit, but yeah, I'll be back in Saskatoon after that.
Nice. So let's just rewind a bit here on your hockey career and I want to go back to Wilcox, Saskatchewan. Notre Dame Hounds, what a season you guys had. They're winning Saskatchewan, getting to go to the national championship, the TELUS Cup. Tell me about that experience and what you learned from it.
Yeah, it was a great year, especially the year before, and the 2 years before, actually, my grade 10 and grade 11 year were canceled because of COVID. So having that full year and the success that we had as a team was phenomenal, and it kind of helped me get ready for last year when we won nationals, with making the junior jump. But it was a great group of guys, and we were together for almost 3 years. So
Oh.
it was really it was a special year.
I've driven through Wilcox. I mean, you blink and
Yeah.
you're through it. Not trying to throw shade at
Yeah,
Wilcox,
exactly.
but it is a small place, and,
Mm-hmm.
and that school's got so much history to it, so much sports history. I mean, there's some names that have gone
Yeah.
there and gone on to do big things. Just tell me about being a Hound and how that helped you where you are today.
Yeah, it was a good 3 years, and it was a place where I learned to grow on the ice and off the ice as well. And I think I built lifelong friendships from there, and I'm thankful for my time there.
And Notre Dame connection to the Bandits. I mean, we're starting to see quite a lot of connections. I
Yeah,
mean, look
for
at
sure.
Dominic Campione
Yeah.
and the success he had here. It seems like playing in that environment helps players come into a place that's Brooks is bigger than Wilcox, but it's still, for a lot of guys, this is a small place on the prairies to come play. Do you think that there's maybe a way that playing at Notre Dame helped you?
Yeah, 100%. I think hockey's obviously one of the biggest goals and things that at Notre Dame that people go to do. So when you come to Brooks, the main goal is obviously hockey, and I think that the balance between hockey and school at Notre Dame is similar, especially for school guys here in Brooks.
Your first year in Brooks, you win an AJ championship, you win a Centennial Cup championship out in Portage. What an unreal first year for you. What did you take away from your first year in the AJ?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of highs and lows over the year, and a lot of learning pieces, and I think I was able to grow from that, especially coming on strong near the end of the year, especially finishing the year with a national championship. Nothing to complain about. So, yeah, it really helped me, I think, with my confidence working towards coming this year and playing confident off the start.
You talk about building confidence as a player in this league. What are some of the things that you've been able to do that have helped you build confidence?
Yeah, I think just mental preparation and consistency. Consistency is really key for me, especially being a defenseman. And you stack games up, being confident and consistent, then you'll play good.
I was talking to the assistants about you the other day in one of our chats. It was just after you committed to Canisius. And one thing that Dakota Mason pointed out was your skating. And is that something that you've really worked on since coming to Brooks, is your skating? And just tell me about the things you've learned in that area.
Yeah, we have really great, I'm fortunate enough to have great skills trainers in Saskatoon and power skating coaches like Jordan Tratch. So they've been instrumental in helping me with my skating for sure.
Sweden was really cool. I know you had family there. Your dad made the trip out to Sweden, which was really cool. But that experience, what did you take away from it?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was my first time going to Europe, so it was really good. Just a new experience. Playing against international teams was phenomenal. So it's definitely an experience I won't forget for a lifetime.
And how cool was it that he was there?
Yeah, my dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I mean, he only flew in, I think, for 4 or 5 days, so it was quick with the jet lag especially. But, yeah, it was neat to kind of go out for just dinner and stuff to see him.
Your second season in Brooks, it seems like, from my perspective, that this is a real tight-knit group. What have you noticed about this year's team?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the team dynamic this year is really good, and I think that's going to be instrumental for us moving forward.
Logan Sawyer, let's talk a little bit about him, your roommate, and his first year with the team, having a great season with Team Canada right now, the World Junior A. But just talk to me about Logan and what what makes him a special player.
Yeah, I think just everything about him is special as a player, and I think his positive mindset also is key for him. And he's so good at the puck, and he can make plays, and his vision and passing and his shooting, it all works together for him. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does.
And do you find a role for you there and to sort of guide him as an older player and someone who's been through it now with the team? Do you kind of see that as your role?
Yeah, for sure. I think living together, it's living on his own. I try and help him, and we get along and support each other. But yeah, he's mature and he does great.
There was a Chat TV did a story on you and your billet family and the Yamans, who obviously are huge supporters of the team, and they've been billeting for a long time now and have made great relationships with all sorts of players that have come through here. Just talk to us about your relationship with your billet family.
Yeah, it's super special. They're a second family to me, and they make me feel at home every day, and it's a special feeling, I think. And I'm super fortunate to have such great billets that care and love for me so much.
Okay, before you go, I got to ask, that goal you scored back in November in Spruce Grove, the OT goal, you do the heartbreaker. And since then, I've been calling you the Heartbreak Kid. Is that sticking at all? You like it?
I don't know. Yeah, the guys kind of give it to me a little bit. So, yeah, it'll probably stick.
And
We'll see.
How does the family feel about it? Because sometimes like we make nicknames and we're unsure if, mom, dad, grandmas are going to like the nicknames.
Yeah, my mom kind of rolls her eyes about it, but I think a lot of people are confused, especially when you first announce it in Siksika. So, yeah, but it's not bad.
That heartbreak celebration, who did it? I've seen someone do it. Have you borrowed that from anyone, or does that come from you?
I don't know, honestly. It just first thing that came through my mind when the goal happened. It was pretty. I kind of blacked out when I scored. So, but yeah, I don't know. I've seen it before. So.
Well, it was pretty cool, that game, and that obviously was a huge moment for you and the team. And yeah, we're wishing you tons of success here in the rest of your time in Brooks, and then off to Canisius. That's really cool. So appreciate you doing this, and all the best to you and your family at Christmas.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
That's Bandits defenseman Luke Marshall. Big thanks to Luke Marshall for joining us on Bandits Weekly. Let's talk about the World Junior A Challenge happening out in Nova Scotia. We have 6 Brooks Bandits on the team with Logan Sawyer, Nathan Free, Ty Mason, Matthew Tyfair, Dylan Compton, and Johnny Hicks. Team record 6 Bandits on Canada West this season. All of them have played. Johnny Hicks played in the second game against Canada East. And then everyone else has been in the lineup, as the Canada West team did not get a great start to the tournament, dropping a 4-2 decision to Sweden and a 5-2 loss to Canada East. They get the day off. They recover with a 7-3 win over Slovakia, playing the United States tonight to wrap up the preliminary round before we recorded this. But they'll, with that win over Slovakia, guaranteeing themselves a spot Saturday in the semi-final. But yeah, I hope they can come back with some hardware. It looks like, maybe not the start to the tournament they wanted. Let's see if they can finish strong, though. So good luck to them this weekend. We want to send a congratulations out to Taylor McCarr, the former Brooks Bandit captain. Had a really strong weekend for UMass against Alaska Anchorage with 3 goals. Way to go, T. As for this weekend's schedule for the Brooks Bandits, back-to-back home games. No road games until January 4th for the team, which is nice. Camrose Kodiaks come Friday night. It'll be the last time we see them this year. Bandits look to win the season series. They're up 2-1 in that regard after dropping that game back in September. So that's Friday night. And then Blackfalds is in here on Saturday. Second meeting of the season. We saw them on Halloween in Blackfalds. The Bulldogs won that game. And then Brooks went on a 16-game winning streak, which was just snapped. So both teams, Brooks and Blackfalds, missing players due to the World Junior A Challenge, but still expecting a great game. 2 of the top 3 teams in the Alberta Junior Hockey League will be playing here at the CRA on Saturday. Santa Claus will be here for pictures with the kids, and we have the $5,000 early bird draw for the cash raffle happening in the second intermission. So hope to see everyone out this weekend. Kodiaks on Friday, Bulldogs on Saturday, and then a Christmas break for the Brooks Bandits. Looking forward to the new year and more episodes of Bandits Weekly, and seeing everyone out in January and February here at the CRA, and then hopefully another great playoff here in Brooks. Before we go, I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of our supporters, fans, billets, volunteers, sponsors, all of our fellow staff and our players and their families. Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you for watching or listening to the podcast. We'll talk to you in 2024. This has been Bandits Weekly presented by Smash Supplements. I'm Nathan Crosby.